We are shown a time of 1,000 years ago where the jinn was asking the king of Persia for his second wish. King thought for a moment before asking the jinn if he could create a spectacle that would astound the entire world. The jinn replied confidently that it would be no problem and promised to fulfill the request. The whole of Persia gets in turmoil as the king wishes. People transform into weird creatures. Some get into the weirdest diseases due to which they die. Then the jinn comes to the king again. He asks him to tell his third and the last wish. The king was so afraid after seeing Persia's condition because of his second wish. So he wanted to make a wish that Persia could return to its normal condition. He was about to make this wish when a magician comes there. He stops him to make a wish. He says that if you made this wish, then the pathway between earth and hell will open. He says that it will give birth to a whole new world and our world will get destructed. When Jinn listens to him, he turns red with rage. He tries to do magic in order to make him quiet. The magician captures him in a red stone. The scene shifts here and we are shown the present day. A man is shown waiting for a very rare statue on a site. He was trying to get this statue for the past 10 years. Finally, that statue arrives there. It was being carried down with the help of a crane. But the crane stopped working properly. That box falls on a man. Unfortunately, he dies coming under the box. That statue also gets broken. That man becomes really upset due to this. A red stone is also found in that statue, which is stolen by a worker. He sells this to a man. Then that man brings this stone to a man who used to sell old items. When he looks at the stone, he says that a girl named Alex will tell its price. Then that man leaves that stone to him and leaves. Then we're shown that girl Alex, whose name was told by that man. He was playing tennis with his friend on a lawn. Later, both of them come back. When Alex looks at the stone, she says that it's very rare. It looked really great to her, so she wanted to know more about it. She was making this stone shiny when suddenly a voice comes from it that you remembered me. When she observes it under a microscope, she sees something strange in it. She brings this stone to a friend with whom she was playing tennis. He says that I'll tell you about this after some research. Later, she goes away for football training. On the other side, he was doing laser testing on the stone. He sees something strange in it. Suddenly, that machine stops working. After this, an immense explosion takes place. He falls away. He was severely injured, and as a result, that stone also breaks into pieces. He was screaming with pain when a weird creature comes close to him. He asks if he's in immense pain. He says yes. That creature asks him to say, "Remove my pain." That man says the same. That creature says, "Okay. Your wish is fulfilled." That boy dies here. Later, that creature gets stood and tried to act like humans. But his face was still very horrible. He picks up the fallen stone and leaves with it. In fact, he was the same jinn who got free from that red stone. When Alex goes to his friend's lab, she weeps a lot after hearing about his death. The detective there asks her what his friend was working on. She tells him that he was working on a red stone. Then we see a beggar begging for some money, but supermarket's owner makes him run away. That beggar comes in a street calling him bad. That jinn was also present there, hiding his face. He was listening to everything. He goes to that beggar and asks a weird question. He asks that in return for his death, "Can you give me your soul?" Beggar considers him mad and says, Okay, all right." Jinn asks him, "What kind of death do you want for him?" Beggar says that I want him to die in agony. Jinn says that that's it. Your wish is fulfilled. Suddenly, the supermarket's owner starts screaming weirdly. He was feeling strange pain and dies in this way. As the beggar sees this, he gets scared of jinn and starts running away. On the other hand, we are shown Alex, who was in his sister's house. She was thinking that the reason behind his friend's death is that red stone. But her sister says that this is impossible. The next day, Alex goes to that place where that statue broke. She meets that worker who stole that stone. He tells the fact that he took it from a statue. Later, she goes to a man who was going to be the holder of that statue. He takes her to the room full of statues. He tells that these are all very rare and special. He shows her that place too where he was going to put that statue. At the last, he invites Alex to a party which was going to held in a few days. Later, we are shown that Wishmaster goes to the morgue room of a medical college. He starts peeling off the skin of a dead body. Meanwhile, a boy comes there. He becomes frightened upon witnessing his own reflection and the state of the deceased body. Jinn becomes angry. He compels him to say after him that I shouldn't have watched this. The boy says the same, that I wasn't supposed to watch this. Jinn says that your wish is fulfilled and his eyes get disappeared. That boy starts screaming, but Jinn had fulfilled his wish. Then Jinn takes the face and skin of that dead body and becomes a whole human. Then Alex is shown, who goes to a history professor. She tells Alex that she read a story in a book. Its name is Stone Made from Fire. She tells that this stone was made from fire and jinn was captured in it. Alex gets scared hearing this. On the other hand, we are shown Wishmaster, who was doing shopping now. He buys some clothes for him and says to a girl standing on the counter that you're very beautiful. He asks her if she wants to look like this forever. She says why not? I just want to look like this forever. Jinn says that alright. I'll fulfill it. That girl turns into a statue immediately. After it, Jinn goes to the police station and asks them for Alex's home address. But that detective doesn't tell him the address. He was looking at a man continuously while talking to him. Jinn asks him, why are you looking at him? That detective reveals that this man has murdered 7 times and he escapes from prison every time. And then the detective himself expresses his wish to Jinn. He says that if he ever kills in front of me, then I would seize him red-handed. Jinn gets a chance to complete his desire. That criminal grabs a gun and shoots 2 officers sitting in front of him. Seeing this, that detective goes to him and arrests him immediately. Taking advantage of it, Jinn notes Alex's address from his table. The detective catches him doing this, so he asks, hey, what are you doing? But Jinn does something with his eyes and that criminal starts hitting them again. But this time, they shoot him and he dies. On the other hand, Alex was in her home reading that book. She gets to know that this red stone was made by a Persian magician, so that he could save his people from jinn. But Jinn used this stone. He makes this stone stronger by fulfilling people's wishes. And by making this strong, he wants to open the path to hell. Now Jinn is shown going to that man to whom that worker gave the stone. A security guard stops him to go inside, so he asks him to tell his wish. Guard says that I want you to leave and this is my only wish. So for fulfilling his wish, he had to go. Then suddenly guard says that if you wanna go inside, you'll have to cross me and this is my wish now. Jinn becomes happy by his foolishness. That security guard gets submerged in the glass. Jinn goes inside by opening that door. Jinn meets that man and asks for Alex's address. But he doesn't tell him anyway. He holds a pot and asks him if you want it to cost 10 times more. He says yes immediately. Jinn fulfills his wish. That pot turns into gold. He gets amazed after seeing it. Jinn asks him again that will you tell me her address? But still, that man doesn't tell him her address. Jinn asks for his wish again, to which he says that I want Rs 5 million. He tells him Alex's address. Then we see that man's mother at the airport. She was filling an insurance form. It was written in the insurance form that if anything happened to him, her son would get Rs 5 million. As soon as the plane moves, there is a huge explosion and she dies. And her son gets Rs 5 million. Surprisingly, whenever the jinn used his powers, something happened to the girl and she used to know everything. Now we are shown Jinn, who had arrived at Alex's house. He wanted to fulfill her 3 wishes as soon as possible to open the door to hell. He imprisoned the souls of all of them in this red stone, whose wishes he fulfilled yet, so that this stone becomes strong. Alex gets to know everything about it and she goes and tells everything to the history professor. She tells her that he is so strong and you can't compete with her. Alex was going to leave, but she sees that Jinn was in the place of that history professor. She understands that she was not a professor, but Jinn. She asks him, "Where's the professor?" He says, "I only fulfilled her wish and now she is dead in her room." Jinn shows his real face and scares her and says, "Tell me your 3 wishes." But Alex doesn't agree with what he said. He says that I give you a chance for an extra wish. Alex angrily says him to shoot in his brain. Hearing this, he acts really normal and shoots. Nothing happens to him because he was immortal. Jinn says, "I am still giving you a chance to wish." Alex asks him that, "Can you tell me who you are?" He fulfills her wish and takes her to his world. It looked like a torture room. He says that my body is made up of all people's pain, screams, and hopelessness. Because whenever a person has no hope, he desires something. As he says this, a weird creature starts chasing Alex. Alex starts running to save her life. Jinn says that I am going to your sister. She tells him to stop and fulfill her 2nd wish, then just take her to her house. Jinn fulfills her wish and she comes home. She calls out her sister's name as she reaches the home. Then her eye catches a note that her sister wrote. As she reads it, she gets to know that she went to a party to which she was invited. She immediately goes to that party but sees that Jinn was already there. The man tells Jinn that I want people to remember this party forever. He immediately fulfills his wish and strange things start happening. Something strange starts happening everywhere. Everyone at the party starts dying badly. Then Jinn goes to Alice and says, "Now tell me your 3rd wish." But she doesn't. Jinn tries to scare her in many ways. But Alex is very smart and doesn't say anything while sticking to her decision. Then Jinn revives all the statues there. These statues start killing everyone, but Alex still doesn't express her desire. Jinn also shows her a painting in which her sister was also inside. Jinn sets the painting on fire and says, "If you still don't tell me your wish, your sister will be killed." Then she mentions a man's name and says, "I wish he hadn't drunk." Jinn fulfills her desire, but then he begins to be imprisoned in the stone from which he came. In fact, Alex cleverly pushed the time back. She connected her wish with the past, to the day when that statue broke. Alex took the name of that drunk man who dropped the wooden box having the statue in it that day. Alex's wishes had come true, and it is shown that the statue neither falls nor breaks. It is revealed that the statue does not fall or break. As a result, the entire process is reversed. This is where the film ends. Thank you for watching.